Hello, I am Enrique Tonche Castillo. We will talking about the main characteristic and simple application of OpAmps or operational amplificators. Uh, I am only the who presented this presentation and covered the most important topics about operational amplifiers. Let's to start. What is a operational amplificate? The name operational amplificate was originally given to the first high-gain vacuum tube amplifier designed to perform mathematical operation. The modern successor to this amplifier is the linear integrate circuit operational amplifier. Although it operates at lower voltage and is available in a variability of specialized shapes. And today, operational amplification is so to low cost, are used millions the units. Now, advantage of OP. One advantage is the low cost that is available for everybody, and here versatility and reliability, and his efficiency is other uh, uses today. It uses for beyond of applicates. Imaginate diverse designers. Some current uses of rational amplifiers are using signal conditioned field process, control of communications, computer, power supplies, signals, and display-ters and measured signal systems. TOPM still basically are very good in high gains and DC amplifiers. Their first experience with a linear IC of EMP show focus on its most important properties. Uh, one OP have this diagram uh, have one output and two inputs, and power supply input and the ground. Host down an OP with their designed and good truth have done such an outstanding job with the external components connected to the POM to determine what our system do and our two connection to the OP. Next, see that the ideal power amplifier is a one OP that have terminals to don't grow signals or bias current and exhibit infinite resistance. Uh, Power supply terminals. Um, the OPs have two power supply terminals, the VDD, that is the voltage, and the VSS, that is the ground, that are connected in a power supply. The OP can be connected or two forms. The normal form, that is one power supply, and we have the bipolar supply that function with two uh, power supply, two positives and two negatives, that need a specially power supply. One OP have one output terminal that is signal here. The output are connected with a resistor to ground. Here can be measured the output. The OP have two input terminals. Um, with these inputs, we have the two forms to connection that we see the next slides, and the polarization of the inputs. Uh, we have two ways for connected, inverter and non-inverter. Uh, and the reversed polaris is when the circuit is positive signal is connected with the negative input of the OP, and the non-reverse polaris is when the the positive signal is connected with the positive input. Input bias current and output voltage. The input terminals of the OpAmp draw a small bias currents and signals currents to drive the internal transistor. The input terminals also have small imbalance that called the input-output voltage. In this model, as via voltage to car in series with the input is plus. Open loop and voltage. The output voltage B is determined by the differential of the voltage. Open loop voltage gain all X, that is called to open loop and voltage gain because this feedback connection from the output terminals to the input terminals and leave open. Consequently, B is expressed by the real thing. Output voltage is equal different input voltage for open loop again. OVO equal ED for AOL. Different input voltage. These are the value of OL is extremely large to 200,000 or more for a kilovolts supply, or the saturation voltage are approximately plus 13 or more values, and amplifiers to operate ED must be limited to a maximum voltage of 6 U-volts. They have small imbalances that can be expressed by the next formulas. Things to understand about because the next circuit can be straight to connection of the OP and the no-inversal and the inversal connection. The limit of the relation between these limits not a problem. The behavior of is what again amplifier usually does. Finally, in the second, to maintain B between this limit, we must to go a feedback. Here have the inversing zero crossing detection. Here in this circuit is an inverting zero crossing detector. The negative input of the OP compares with the reference voltage, that is 0, and if the signal of voltage to be monitored with input plus, a non-inverting comparator is obtained if the signals of the voltage to be monitored but connected to the negative input it's a inverting comparator. Can we see the connection and theoretical how see the signals in the oscilloscope? And here are a simulation and how see into reality. Can be the signals of the EOP and the original signal. Uh, Next, we have the nothing inverting zero crossing detector. The OpAmps works as comparator. Its input positive with the positive input, and negative input are to ground. Can we see a circuit with no inverting, and can we see the theoretical signals and in the practical, here's the signal. Can we see the signal of the OP and the signal input? Positive level of the detector. If a positive reference voltage is applied to one of the OpAmps inputs, this means that the voltage of MP is configured as a comparative detect, and positive voltage if applied to the OP and plus, plus input into results not inverting the positive level detector. Negative level detector. This circuit detects when input signal E crosses the negative voltage negative curve. When it is about BRF, VO equals plus voltage and SAT. SAT is the output of the OP. When E is below VREF, VO is equal minus SAT minus output. And this circuit can see in the figure 2 to 6. It's a inverting negative level detector when E is about VREF, V equals V star, and when E is below 2 refer, V equals to plus SAT. Typical applications of voltage level detector. Can we see some of that? Adjustable reference voltage. ECS are available to establish a current voltage, and reference these chips will be introduced in the next section. In this section are resist, so divider network is used to set birth. Next, it show how to make adjustable reference voltage. It can see that have resistors, potentiometers, and connect in series. Each resistance corresponds to 1 bit drop. The voltage in this circuit are variable depending the resistance and that control the output. How to make a sound activate switch? Some activate switch by OP are need to resistance, potentiometers, and power supply of 15 volts that generate a convenient adjustable voltage of 0 to 10 volts connected to 1 divider voltage 1000 to 1 that divides the voltage 0 to this volt to 10 volts from the difference of 0 to 100 millivolts are controlled by the resistors. the potentiometer will be connected in series to control that. Can we see the circuits and the theoretical signals? Um, any noise signal will not generate that no gener any noise signal generate AC voltage that will be picked up by the microphone and the input. The first positive oscillation of behavior leads to B star, that is a positive output. The alarm stays because one is here turned on. It stays to only another cathode circuits open. The circuits can be modified to photograph high-speed events such as bullet going through a glass or meet someone else. Can we see the circuit and theoretical signals? How to make a voltmeter? A voltmeter are one apparatus uh, that function with OPs and one column of LEDs or whatever light and turn on depending the voltage. A light column bottom shows a column of light whose height are proportional to the voltage. A light column volumeter is made of a RCL circuit to test as usual, so 1 milliampere. Follow through the network of equal resistance divider R1 to R10, separate to reference are set 1 negative volt to 10 volts. 10 separate reference voltage are set 1 volt negative, 2 volt positive. When E 0 is equal to 0 volts or less than 1 volt, the output are OPR. The SAT silicon diodes protects the light of reverse voltage. As increase the LEDs turn on in numerical order. Now we see how to make a smoke detector. A smoke detector internal have a lamp and a photoconductor cell are mounted in a closed chamber or camera that admits smoke and dust but no external light. This function that when the photoconductor is a lightning sensitive resistor. When the photoconductor receives light, the resistance is high, and when don't receive light, the resistance is low. In the absence of particles, very light hits the photoconductor, the resistance remains high. When the resistance control just until the alarm sounds. If smoke particles enter into camera light, light will reflect them of a hit photoconductor. This is a turn causes of resistance of the photoconductor, decrease the voltage, and active the sound of the alarm or whatever that. Thank you, that is all for me, and thank you for see that.